George picked up the heavy 3/4 full saucepan and carried it out of the back door. He crossed the farmyard and headed straight for the shed alongside the hen house. He knew his father wouldn't be there. He was out haymaking in one of the meadows. George entered the dusty old shed and put the saucepan on the bench. Then he looked up at the medicine shelf. Let's have a look. There we go, there's George looking up at the medicine. There were 5 big bottles there. 2 were full of pills, 2 were full of runny stuff, and 1 was full of powder. "I'll use them all," George said. "Grandma needs them. Boy, does she need them." The first bottle he took down contained an orange-coloured powder. The label said, "For chickens with foul pest, hen gripe, sore beaks, gammy legs, cocorolitis, egg trouble, broodiness, or loss of feathers, mix 1 spoonful only with each bucket of feed." "Well," George said aloud to himself as he tipped in the whole bottleful, "the old bird won't be losing any feathers after she's had a dose of this." The next bottle he took down had about 500 gigantic purple pills in it. "For horses with horse throats," it said on the label. "The horse-throated horse should suck 1 pill twice a day." "Grandma may not have a horse throat," George said, "but she's certainly got a sharp tongue. Maybe they'll cure that instead." Into the saucepan went the 500 gigantic purple pills. There he is, look, pouring it in. Then there was a bottle of thick yellowish liquid. "For cows, bulls and bullocks," the label said. "Will cure cowpox, cow mange, crumpled horns, bad breath in bulls, earache, toothache, headache, hoofhache, tail-ache, and sore udders." "That grumpy old moo in the living room has every one of those rotten illnesses," George said. "She'll need it all." With a slop and a gurgle, the yellow liquid splashed into the now nearly full saucepan. The next bottle contained a brilliant red liquid. "Sheep dip," it said on the label. "For sheep with sheep rot and for getting rid of ticks and fleas. Mix 1 spoonful in 1 gallon of water and slosh it over the sheep. Caution, do not make the mixture any stronger or the wool will fall out and the animal will be naked." "By gum," said George, "how I'd love to walk in and slush it all over Grandma and watch the ticks and fleas go jumping off her. But I can't, I mustn't, so I shall have to drink it instead." He poured the bright red medicine into the saucepan. The last bottle on the shelf was full of pale green pills. "Pig pills," the label announced. "For pigs with pork prickles, tender trotters, bristle blight and swine sickness. Give 1 pill per day. In severe cases, 2 pills may be given, but more than that will make the pig rock and roll." "Just the stuff," said George, "for that miserable old woman back there in the house. She'll need a very big dose." He tipped all the green pills, hundreds and hundreds of them, into the saucepan. There was an old stick lying on the bench that had been used for stirring paint. George picked it up and started to stir his marvellous concoction. The mixture was as thick as cream, and as he stirred and stirred, many wonderful colours rose up from the depths and blended together. Pinks, blues, greens, yellows and browns. I think that's what the front cover is showing, actually, if you look. All those colours. George went on stirring until it was all well mixed, but even so, there were still hundreds of pills lying on the bottom that hadn't melted, and there was his mother's splendid powder puff floating on the surface. "I shall have to boil it up," George said. 1 good quick boil on the stove is all it needs," and with that he staggered back towards the house with the enormous heavy saucepan. On the way he passed the garage, so he went to see if he could find any other interesting things. He added the following: 1/2 pint of engine oil to keep Grandma's engine going smoothly, some antifreeze to keep her radiator from freezing up in winter, a handful of grease to grease her creaking joints. Then he went back to the kitchen. There he is, just round the garage. Right, hope you enjoyed that chapter, Puffins. I shall see you on Thursday. Hey, Puffins, you alright? Hope you're okay. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Missed you. Right, shall we say good morning to our friends? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, Puffins. Right, let's go and see which number we're on to today on the number line. Right, you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, so it's got to be 25. Did you shout that out? 4, 5, yeah? 25. Now, 5 is one of our odd numbers. Look, 5, 15 has a 5 on the end, 25 has a 5 on the end. The numbers with a 5 on the end are odd. You can't put those into two equal piles. But also, something else to think about is, I know we're only reception, but we can still do this. Numbers that have a 5 on the end, also a 0, are the numbers that we count when we count in 5s. So, let's count in 5s this morning. We'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's counting in 5s. I wonder if you knew what would come next, which is the next 5. So if it goes 5, 10, then where is it? 15, 20, 25. Do you know what the next number with a 0 would be? Do you know? If you don't know, think of it this way. 10, 20, it's 30 if we kept going. Alright? And to prove it, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets to 25. And then it's 5 more to see if it is 30. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So remember, 5s and 0s on the end of a number, and you'll be able to count in 5s. Right, which day is it today? So the last time we did videos together was Tuesday, but you've had a day since. So yesterday was Wednesday, so what's 2 days after Tuesday? It's Thursday. And we're still in the month of May.